This story comes from a time long ago, in a quiet, peaceful village where life was simple and hearts were pure. There lived a poor man named Michael. He owned a small, humble house and worked tirelessly in the fields from sunrise to sunset. His clothes were worn and his hands were rough, but his heart was far richer than gold. For Michael, helping others wasn't a duty, it was simply his way of life. Everyone in the village knew him for his honesty and his boundless kindness. While toiling in the fields, if a hungry dog happened to pass by, Michael would share his meager meal without a second thought. If a tired traveler asked for help, he would offer them water, food, and shelter, even if it meant he would have to go hungry himself. But his wife, Julia, often grew worried. "Because of your generosity," she would frequently complain, "our kitchen is always empty. You have to think about yourself, too." Michael would just smile gently and reply, "A hungry stomach is the worst enemy, Julia. If we have the power to help someone, why shouldn't we? God sees everything." One afternoon, as Michael rested at home, a weak, frail voice called out from his doorstep. An old sage stood there, thin and tired, his clothes covered in dust, his face pale with hunger. Julia saw him through the window and muttered to herself, "Another guest. Now we'll have nothing left again." Ignoring her words, Michael rushed to the door and welcomed the sage inside with a warm heart. "Please, sit, Baba," he said kindly. "I'll bring you some water." The old man drank the water slowly, a wave of relief washing over his tired face. "Son," he said softly, "I haven't eaten for 2 days. If you could give me something to eat, I would be eternally grateful." Michael hurried to the kitchen, but his heart sank when he looked. There were only 2 rotis left, meant for his own lunch. Without a moment of hesitation, he picked them up. But Julia stopped him, her voice sharp with anger. "What are you doing? Those rotis are for you. If you give them away, what will you eat? Let him go somewhere else to beg." Michael replied calmly, his voice full of compassion, "A hungry stomach doesn't wait. This man hasn't eaten for 2 whole days. If we don't help him, who will? God will make arrangements for us, Julia. He always does." The sage heard every word of their conversation but remained silent, his expression unreadable. Michael approached the sage and placed the 2 rotis before him. "Baba," he said humbly, "this is the best food we have to offer." The sage ate quietly, and with every bite, his gratitude seemed to fill the small room. When he finished, a profound sense of peace settled over them all. As the sage stood up to leave, he called Michael closer. From a small bag he carried, he took out a shining golden bowl and handed it to him. Michael stepped back in shock, his eyes wide. "I cannot take this. It belongs to you." The sage smiled a knowing smile. "A king gave this to me just last week. I was searching for someone truly worthy of it. Today, I found you," he continued, his voice gentle but firm. "This is not a reward, it is a reminder. Karma is the true religion. You helped me without expecting anything in return. Never let wealth change the goodness in your heart. God always rewards selfless deeds, but only at the right time." With those final words, the sage walked away, disappearing down the path. Michael stood there, frozen, holding the heavy golden bowl, with tears of understanding streaming down his face. He finally understood the true lesson. It wasn't about the wealth he now held, but about the unwavering faith he had always shown. From that day forward, no matter how difficult life became, Michael never once stopped helping others. Because he knew, deep in his soul, that kindness given freely always returns when the time is right. Thank you for watching, and if this story touched your heart, please consider subscribing for more.